Hello y'all on YouTube. I'm doing another update here. This right here is my 3 lift outs that I've gotten that goes into my storage area. I was thinking about putting something right here, but I ain't gonna worry about that, I don't think, because it makes it a little bit easier to lift these lift outs out a lot easier, I think. What I've done is I've already put some grass and some texture and all that, and I added some styrofoam for little hills and indentions and everything in it. Go a little bit closer so you can see it. And this is only like 1 of 2 stages almost. That's what she looks like right there. Just where I've got my dirt painted on to the actual styrofoam, the pink stuff. Then I add a little bit of grass, and that brown stuff right there that you see, which is like right here and a couple of spots right here, that right there, I saw someone else use that technique, and they're not with model railroading, but no, it's always good to look at somebody else's stuff. It'd be pretty cool to see what somebody else uses to help you out. The other thing is, I actually finished my retaining wall here, and the top part I actually paint them white right here, as you see, and I painted my dividers right there brown, and then I took the paint that I use for rusting my rails, to make my rails look rusty. I actually add a little bit of that after the brown dried. I painted my tunnel right here, and painted the inside, painted it black, add a little black to it, a little white to it, and same with this retaining wall, as you see. And the other thing that I did, move my camera around, is this retaining wall. No, that's not one piece. I wish it was, but it's not, and I think it turned out pretty good for the way I done it. That right there is these type of retaining walls, cut the little edges, the corners cut off of them to make one solid piece. And after I glued them on, I took some 20-minute drywall mud and I filled in the cracks and all that where they join together, and then I painted them a dark gray, and while the paint was still wet, I went across with a light gray. And after I did the light gray, I went up there and took white paint and did like a dry brush effect to it. And she actually looks like one whole wall. But if you notice right there, right here where my finger's pointing at, if you look at that point right there, she looks like she's kind of messed up. And what I done is I brought the retaining wall out a little bit, and then when I put the 20-minute drywall mud on it, I made it so when it blends in, it kind of looks like the dirt behind it is kind of pushing it out a little bit, give it a kind of pretty cool effect. I think she turned out pretty good. And you really can't see too much where I join them together. I also painted the top of them. Did my road, painted that solid black. After I did my mud deal like I done with my other roads, I went ahead and painted it black, and then I added white lines on both sides of it, and I added the little dotted yellow lines, and I I know they're probably not to scale, but since it's going to be covered up with snow and all you can see is some tire tracks, I didn't think it would have mattered. If she doesn't turn out good, I'm going to redo it over. I got me a dirt road beside this building for a parking lot. And same with this one right here. I painted the top of them white, so when I add my snow, everything will blend in a lot easier. All in all, I think she's turned out pretty good. The next step is I'm going to show exactly how I made my homemade dirt blower again. I made a brand new one, just in case anybody hasn't seen my other updates or anything like that. I know I looked back on one of my updates that I did it, and I really didn't explain how I did it. So what I did was take a drill, 1/4 inch bit, but it depends on what type of hose you're going to use, and I went up there and took 1/4 inch tubing. You can actually get this at Walmart in the fish department where you find your fish food and all that. You can use that type of clear hose instead of this blue hose. But I was lucky I had plenty left over from my aquarium that I've got. And all I did was drill 2 holes, made the hole, reamed it out a little bit enough to get the tube pushed down through, 2 holes as you see right there, and one is longer. Now as far as the short one that you can take out right here that you blow everything out of, you can actually adjust that, push it down, pull it out, whatever you need to do to get the turf or grass or whatever that you are trying to use. Real simple, easy to make, and it's definitely a lifesaver, especially on walls like this right here, the vertical walls, as you see right here. Now my next step that I'm going to do is sorry about that, is this right here. All this is, and like I said, I learned this from somebody else that's on YouTube. Pretty cool idea. And all this is dried up tea bags. You just basically wring your tea bags out after you're done using them, let them set up for a couple of days, and all you gotta do, I can use my homemade dirt blower, but I decided I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to take a little bit in a spoon, kind of sprinkle it out here, just basically anywhere, because like I said, it ain't going to really matter, because the whole entire layout is going to, or this section right here is going to be covered in snow, and this is just giving it so if I do miss any sections, then it will show through a little bit, and if I don't like a certain point where it's showing too much, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to add more snow. What I'm going to do now is just take some water, spray on it, just to help hold it in place. And it also gives a good smell if you have the flavor tea. I said there's a couple of war gamers, I believe you call them, Warcraft, I think it is what you call it, that I've seen this video on them, and they're pretty good ideas, I think. Like I said, you just basically watch other channels. You know, everybody's got a cool idea to do something. Somebody does something different. It might work out easier for them, and if you like it, you can try it. And I'm just basically taking some glue. I have a squirt bottle, but I don't feel like doing that. I'm gonna just squeeze some out right here, and then I'm gonna let this dry. And once this all dries, probably overnight, the next day or something like that, I'm gonna go up here and add my real good texture. And for that one, I've got my other homemade dirt blower that I've got texture in, that I've actually shredded up in the blender. If my wife knew it, she'd probably kill me. But I just shredded this up, and I want to use that right there. And now that right there is just basically this right here. And I got this at the craft store, and I just grinded it up real fine as I can get it, and blend up everything together, and I'm going to see how that turned out. Like, so this section here, if it turns out not too good, I'm really not too worried about it, to the point that, like I said, this whole entire section, from basically this point right here all the way down to that corner right there where you see that opening at, right over here, right above the clock, all this right here is going to be covered in snow. And I also made my mountain a little bit taller too, as you see right there. I made it a little bit taller to kind of give it more of a natural look, I believe. Like, so I'm going to still add a picture along the back here of trees with the snow and everything in mountain. I've got one that goes back over there too that I'm going to add in. And then that might be all the section that I use the or actual picture behind anything, other than in my spring section right over there. I still got to do a city on the wall, and right there where my overpass is at the end right there, I'm going to add a picture of another overpass on the wall to make it look like it's going over a hill in the distance. And once my winter section is done right here, everything, I'm going to actually build out from that corner right there that you see, come over and meet up to right about here at an angle. Bring this out, because this section right here that you see right here is going to be part of my winter theme, but it's going to have a city, and like someone will do my lake over there. I actually painted it a little blue, mixed a little of my blue sky color in, and I like the way it turned out, but I went ahead and made it darker. I think a real dark black mixed with the tan that you see right there will actually look more like a lake. And this right here is going to have ice skaters on it. I think that'll turn out pretty good when I'm done with that. I might have a little section over here for Christmas trees and all that stuff. It's like it's just beginning to become Christmas, and they're starting to bring the trees in. And don't forget, my tunnel right over here is going to have lights in it, so that'll draw your attention to the back here, along with the two N-scale buildings right here that you see. And there's my N-scale cars that you see. I think she turned out pretty good too. Like I said, all this is going to be covered in snow.